I watch a new film every other day. Follow along for recommendations and reviews. Today, I just finished watching the movie titled D.E.A.D, which stands for Deception Ends at Discovery, that is showing on Tobi Makinde TV. So the first thing I want to say is that big ups to Tobi Makinde. It seems like he's trying to really do mystery thrillers as his own like genre of films, which those are my favorite types of films. And so like I'm a fan of what he's trying to do. However, his first film, No One Has to Know, that we watched on the VDK Film Club, I did not really love the ending of that film, and I talked about why extensively in that video. This one, when I saw it, I was like, okay, another mystery thriller. Let's just see how it's going to go. The first thing I want to say is that Toby, as an actor, he did a good job here. Like his ability to play like vicious, darker sides of himself and like really play those characters for someone that is so naturally likable, I think is very interesting. There's also another actor here named Awe Ayobami. He played a detective, and this was a very good launch pad for him. It really showed him well. My issue with this film especially lies with the script, because with mystery thrillers, again, my favorite thing in the world, my favorite genre, the scripts have to be very tight and the dialogue has to be very tight and like, you know what I mean. And there's some things in this film that I was just like, for example, this is not spoiler section, but let me just set up the story. A man is discovered with the body of a woman beside him in their house. Only two of them were there, and then he's taken into custody. Again, only him and this woman were found in this house. I have some lines of dialogue for you. He's saying to the detective, everything went blank, and then the next thing I know, she was lying dead beside me. The detective then says, is there anyone that might have had reason to hurt Chisom? This is not a logical question, especially when you watch the film, because a logical next question would be, so if not you, who could it be then? Is there anyone that would have had reason to hurt Chisom and have access to the house? Because if it's only two of you inside the house, how are you even asking if anybody that want to hurt her? Only two of us were found. You know what I'm talking about? Another thing is, for example, and the investigator says to a suspect, she's married. The suspect says Chisom was never married. The investigator says, enough, quiet, sergeant, get him out of here. Why would an investigator looking for information be silencing a suspect that has information about something that might be surprising? It's things like this that I was like, okay, hold on. There's another thing is that like this film, sound just stops for like 30 seconds straight between the minutes 16 to 16:27. I wrote it down because it's like the audio they were playing, the audio just finished, and then there was just like silence. It was very weird. Another thing is that this film needed more set dressing. The film feels so sparse. I wish that there was even like a jacket thrown here, an open file somewhere. Like the world of this place feels so empty. There's a lot more I want to say, but like I don't want to start talking about this thing with spoilers. So for those of us who have watched it, spoilers ahead so we can gist well with spoilers. In three, two, one, let us go. Right now we're in the spoiler section. Please, if you're going to write a comment that has spoilers, just write spoiler alert before you write your comment so that we don't spoil for people that have not yet watched it. All right, let's start gisting. I was saying that I really, really like Tobi Makinde's acting in this. The first part where he really like dissociates, like he has this episode, I was like eating and I like held my spoon because I was like, oh, this is very like engrossing. Like the acting was very well done. But the way he like launched at that camera, it kind of took me out. But like his acting was really good in this. That detective though was all over the place. Like he was telling the suspect, the ex-boyfriend, the Boma, you murdered her. Just even listening to information. Then when it was now time to Tony again, oh, he told you murdered her. Then the way he's shouting at the other police people, but of course, you now realize that it's because he has personal stake in this matter. Although the way that that part was revealed to the exposition, like when he said, "After what happened to my only sister, I vowed to never let this happen to another woman." Like, is this, first of all, say my only sister is so like specific exposition thing. I vowed to never have this. It's so unnatural dialogue in that way, very exposition heavy, but I guess he had his own stake in the case, which is what made him so all over the place in his investigation. There was also a middle part in this film where I felt like it started to repeat itself, where it's now like, oh, the investigator is convinced that Tony is lying. The therapist believes that he's not, and they were kind of just like repeating this theme over and over again. It kind of started getting long for a film that's already like 1 hour 58 minutes. That middle could have been tighter. Another thing, like I was talking about with the set dressing, like the world of this film felt a bit too small because I was like, now only Tony that way they investigate nine police. Like everything just felt like it was about only him. And even if that is the point of this particular story, the world felt like it only revolved around him. Like police was not, we never saw any other like people in the police station. There was no other case files. Like again, the world felt too empty. Like so much of the set here felt too empty. I wish there was more set dressing. Like the investigation room is like it's so sparse. The when she goes to meet him in his psychiatric room at the end, it's so sparse. Even though when the guy is on the staircase, the investigator, the whole office looks so sparse. You can tell that maybe this is like a building that they are in, like a residential home. They're trying to like walk around. But I feel like there could have been maybe just again, as I said, a jacket thrown here, shoes left here, like something to make the film feel more lived in the world of the film, and just have a little bit more scope than just Tony Dada and this investigator and the CSP and like it just felt too small and too contained to only Tony Dada's case. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's how I felt about this film. What did you think? When it was revealed that he was actually lying, I was like, this psychiatrist must really feel like Oludo. Oh my gosh. But then I was like, so all that talk that he was talking about, the lecturer and the physics and the chemistry, I was even thinking that maybe he was like channeling their father, him and his twin brother. That maybe that's what his father was doing. Maybe he has like some father as like another personality in him. But when he's not like, oh, it was all made up, I was like, oh, I don't know if I really love that. I wish maybe like it was actually his father so that we would at least maybe get a sense of his own childhood. I don't know, just something to bring all that physics and chemistry parts just to give it something. His ending spiel on his grand plan and how the whole thing ends, I seen the psychiatrist's face, like it was good. And I like at the end, his grand plan and how he ended up and how he's actually going to get scot free for actually committing a murder. And the ending spiel, where you now really see his whole grand plan, it makes sense and I liked it. However, I just felt like the journey up until this point in the story, like the film that we watched, I didn't there's so many if you start to poke holes, there's so many holes. Also, I feel like so much of this film was, I don't know, convenient at points because even again the way that the investigator is asking questions is like leading. I don't know how to explain it. Like there's so much of it, the psychiatrist too, the CSP, like so much of this. I feel like if you there is so many holes to poke in this that I just feel like if you really sit down with this film more, I'm sure that you will start being like, wait, hold on. I just finished watching it, but even thinking of some things I'm not fully articulated in my brain of like, wait. And I feel like the longer you spend from this film, the more you will keep going like, wait, hold on. And overall, I felt like this film, it was a good effort, but I didn't love the story. If you have watched this film though, I'm very curious to know what you think about it. So please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you have watched this whole video and you have no idea who I am, my name is VDK. I'm the curator of the VDK Film Club, where every other day we watch something new and we just about it like we've done today. Follow along. All right. Until the next film that I watch and the next video that I make, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.